Oh, the man is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He got it. Goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Levin's going to win the football. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone. It's a touchdown. And the Gators have won the game.
50 to the 40. Herbert Whitfield to 30 to the 20. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown FSU.
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's me, your host. It's me, your daddy, Roboito, back for another college football extravaganza. Riding solo for the time being. Davis is going to hop on here in a little bit, but we have a lot of news to get through. So, I mean, having all three of us on here, this would have been a 2-hour podcast today, honestly. So, I'm glad I have the show notes. We're going to be cooking those up real hot. First off, we have to I got to get this off my chest. We got to get past this Gator game here. And, you know, if you follow the podcast, you know I'm a Gator fan. And watching this game just broke my heart. Honestly, we were in it. We were in it. Offensively, I liked what we did. As you can see right here, the Gator season, they had the stats right there for you. Trevor Etienne. 18 carries, 99 yards, 5.5 yards a carry, 3 touchdowns. You know, the defense was the issue for us in this game. LSU put 701 yards of offense up on us, completely tore it up in Death Valley. In the fourth quarter, I mean, Jaden Daniels had an 85-yard run. I mean, he was in the shotgun, so it could have been a 90-yard run, but ran all over us, ran for 3 touchdowns, I think, maybe 4. The only player to throw for over 350 yards and run for over 200 yards. The only player ever. Just absolute video game numbers. If this guy's not in your Heisman talk, I don't know why. I don't know who else would be. You know, Jaden Daniels just made the Gators look absolutely silly last Saturday. And I definitely expected the Gators to lose this one. I was fully expecting us to lose, but not in such a way where you're going, did we just not play defense at all? We had a good turnover on special teams there, had a chance to take the momentum. We took the lead, and then just could not capitalize on that momentum. So that's very unfortunate for the Gators there. LSU continues to show why their offense is just so good and so physical. I mean, in the trenches, man, Gators D-line was getting blown off the ball every single play. Almost every single play. There's a play where Derek Wingo got absolutely just blocked to the ground by the LSU. I don't know who did it for LSU, but he got up in his face afterwards and said, "Yeah, I'm here." It was a tough one. And now the Gators sitting there looking at what could be a 5-7 season. In a bowl game, that would be important. You get more practices for those players coming in. You got a recruiting class where 2 guys just fell off with Wardell Mack flipping to Texas, and maybe a couple more here to drop off. I was paying attention on Twitter, and we might have 2 other guys drop off. So the class not looking like it's going to be what it was a couple weeks ago, but I think for the most part, still staying together. And the Gators got a tough Missouri game up next, and then a top 4 FSU coming to town. It's a night game, so we'll see what happens rivalry week. But this week's Missouri absolutely handled business. We'll get to that in a second. But I will say, I did go to the FSU Miami game. Took my ladies to FSU Miami game because I was like, she's never been to a college football game. I got to take her to a college football game, and I grew up going to FSU games and with my family, and I remember some of the rivalries, like 2001. I remember Miami fans just rolling the Doak Campbell Stadium whenever they came in. Obviously, 2001 Miami, if you know college football, you know that they were one of the best teams of all time. Maybe that's what everyone measures up to. Or is, if there's a great team, they're like, is this team better, or could they compete with the 2001 Miami team? But oh, looks like we got Will in chat. Thanks, Will. If that class tumbles, what are you keeping Napier for? Honest, what? I don't think the class is going to tumble right now. I see where you're going. A lot of people are saying, fire Napier, but a lot of FSU fans were saying fire Mike Norvell. And now look, y'all just leapfrogged the Gators to the number 3 class now, and you're looking at getting a commit from Jeremiah Smith. He's taken all of his Ohio State stuff off of his social media, so that's a pretty good commit there. You say Mike Norvell is the best college football coach out there. So good stuff coming out of FSU, and but as far as Napier goes, I think he's going to have to make some changes in the offseason. He's going to have to do something. There's 2 offensive line coaches that aren't doing much. And they're splitting responsibilities there on the O-line from what I understand. I could be wrong. But you definitely got to go get some guys out of the transfer portal, guys. Like, we're so young. I think the Gators were starting the most freshmen out of any team. Out of any football team this year, and by a lot too. So I think you got to go get some guys out of the transfer portal to get some veteran experience on your football team. Maybe a guy at the wide receiver position. It was going to be tough and lead there because we got a bunch of young wide receivers, a bunch of good young wide receivers, and then definitely some guys on the defense, some cornerbacks or something, because the secondary is highly suspect. Every single time it looks like 3 and 8 are giving up big play after big play, and I don't know about the effort there. It's hard, man. It's hard being a Gator fan right now. But Napier, I like what he's done with the culture and stuff like that, but you definitely got to look at the team in the mirror a little bit, and it seems like week after week we got the same kind of excuses in the press conference. But I'm patient with it. I think let the recruiting class get in, and then next year, when you're looking at a even tougher schedule than this year, you say, hey, you knew it was going to be a tough schedule. You knew this was the SEC, new SEC. You're playing Texas at Texas. You got Miami opening up the 2024 season. You play UCF. I mean, Florida's got hard schedules locked in until like 2031. They're going to California, which is going to be in the ACC now. They got FSU every single year, LSU every single year, Georgia every single year. You're going to have to compete. You're going to have to step it up at some point. And it's got to be next year because the seat's getting hot right now. I think they're going to let him do his thing and see what he does over the summer. But definitely things have to be changed. I mean, you got to get some special teams guys in there. You got to stop getting penalties on special teams too. But anyway, this FSU game, first of all, a very fun game to go to. And there was kind of some controversy. I'm not going to lie. I was at this game, and I think I was in the stands. And I thought it was a safety from in the stands. And maybe I can full screen it here. All right. FSU fans, y'all can get on me if you want to, but this looked like a safety. Here's the goal line right here. Yeah, I gotta mute that. Here's here's the end zone line right here. All right. So I also saw FSU fans clipping this and going, the ball's in front of the line. Okay. He moves it behind the line. That ball is now in the end zone. When his knee goes down, it's when his knee goes down where's the ball at? It's in the end zone. And this is a pivotal moment in the game. This is momentum swinging if Miami can get this and then get the ball back. But they didn't. And couldn't really score. I mean, it was a close game the whole time. Very physical football game. Probably the best game of the weekend, maybe. And I'm glad I was there. The atmosphere was rocking. Doak was rocking. Yeah, the refs were bad that game, and just because I said, that looked like a safety, like the refs were awful, but they're ACC refs, and they, I don't think they want to take FSU out of the college football playoffs just because Miami did so. But saw this guy Noel Control saying, just so Miami fans can shut up about the safety, one holding in the end zone against Verse, which I saw a clip, I saw a still of. I didn't see the whole thing, so potentially maybe a safety could have went the other way as well. Targeting on Jordan Travis, UMPI on Coleman. So they're throwing out some things that could have been called on the other side too. So seems like both sides had some questions on the refs. I just have a question. Do you want robot refs? This is how you get robot refs. I don't care if all those other calls were also bad. That call is bad too. In a pivotal point in the game, people are losing money, like regular people now, not just stakeholders and these conferences and these administrators. And so people are gonna have something to say, especially when it's so blatant a call. I think we're heading in a very bad direction with AI, lasers, and the technology going the way it is. I mean, refs have screwed over games back in the day where I've been like, and remember before review and replay, the refs would just be on some bullshit, like calling fumble. No, that was a fumble. That wasn't a fumble. They wouldn't let the play. It's like we were all saying, yeah, of course, have a review on these plays. And now there's some plays that you can't review. You can't review this. You can't review that. And that's good in some ways to keep the game moving. But in other ways, a lot of that shit's dumb. It's like, let's get it right. There's so much money on the line for this. Kids are playing their hearts out. Miami played their hearts out. And to just miss a call like that, for me, it's like that is what paves the way to robot referees. And you can say what you want. But speaking of Miami FSU, I did like Jacoby George in that game for Miami. They look good, and I'll give Miami credit. I just shared myself. That is not what I wanted to share. There we go. I'll give Miami credit and share this.
But man, we gotta keep finding ways to get him.
Major highlights in the game. I think he had an 85-yard touchdown pass that made the game close there in the end. But he was a speedster. Shout out NMD Grant for sharing this on there. Pretty sick song over the background of it. But yeah, shout out Florida State and Miami. That was a hell of a game to watch. And I didn't know this, but apparently FSU's got a goldfish. Garnet the goldfish, everyone. I'm so late to the party on this, and apparently they take it with them wherever they go. They took it. This was at Wake Forest, so yeah. Let me play.
Wondering, is that actually a bag full of vodka? I wish I could drink this bag, but it tastes like fish water, so not vodka, just a fish. We're here with Garnet the goldfish and his translator Jack. Mostly he says Keon Coleman is him and Jordan Travis for Heisman. We haven't played this well since 2014. It feels like it's 1999 again as well.
That's blasphemy. The 99 team was dominant. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, animals have more money than I do right now. But yeah, no, this is, I support this. This is a good name, Garnet the Goldfish. Pretty good name by Jack here. I don't know if it's Jack's or if Jack was just entrusted with him, or if they pass it around and whoever's going to the game gets to take him. But what if he dies? What if he dies? Can you share that Instagram account with me? Send it to the College Football Extravaganza Instagram, because I will look it up, and we'll support Garnet the Goldfish in any way we can. Goldfish don't live that long though, right? That's taking a risk. Like if he's healthy and stuff, teams better watch out. But you got to watch the pH balance, man. You could kill the winning streak. It's not good. It's not a good. I mean, it's like it's like whenever you shave your beard or you don't shave your beard, and then you lose. You're like, oh man, got to shave it, start over, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, man. Who would know? Who would know the life of a goldfish? Hopefully, FSU fans. I'd be looking if I was a fan of a team that had a lucky goldfish, and the thing was in jeopardy of dying. I'd be like, yo, hey, we need to keep them. We need to keep them tight to the collar. Gonna keep going with the Florida wrap up here. I got to stop the music here because I was dead wrong last week, and I need to apologize to the UCF Knights and the UCF Knight fan base. They absolutely trounce Oklahoma State in a way that's not even funny. And I called it last week. I said, some people are saying UCF's going to beat them. I don't know. I stayed away from it. I made it an honorable lock because I thought Oklahoma State was that good. I thought Oklahoma State saw the path to a Big 12 championship and said, hey, all we got to do is beat UCF. But you know what happens in Florida? It rains. And you know what happens when it rains in Florida? Florida teams just win. And an Oklahoma State team that had previously been running all over the field. Ollie Gordon ran for like 130-something yards against Oklahoma. Previous game, he ran for 270-something yards. No, UCF holds this team to 52 rushing yards. Oh, we can't play that. No bueno. No bueno, ESPN. Yeah. UCF, hats off to you. Ruined Oklahoma State's chances of going to the Big 12 championship. And, those uniforms are kind of sharp. UCF always has these space uniforms. As soon as I saw these orange helmets, though, I was like, oh, they're going to lose. UCF they're looking good. They're feeling good. They're playing good. And RJ Harvey had about 75-yard run there in the first quarter. Absolutely insane run. 45-3, man. 45-3. The spread was Oklahoma State -2. What? I mean, there go the Cowboys. I get, and UCF now puts itself in a position where they can get to a bowl game, so that's good. But on the other hand, fuck me and my parlays. I don't know. I'm just watching college football, dude. At this point, they just regressed to the pre-Ollie Gordon Oklahoma State, and I was very disappointed. I was hopping on the Oklahoma State train so hard, and now I have to hop off. You're making me hop off the Ollie Gordon train. I was looking at the odds for Heisman. I was like, could he do it? It was like plus 60,000. I'm like, he could do it, and I could make a lot of money if he did it. But no. The rest of the week, Louisville clinched a spot in the ACC championship, so they're going to play Florida State. But on a Friday night, they almost lost to Virginia. If you missed this game, you missed a tight one. Virginia scoops and scores a fumble to it was their own fumble. They scooped and scored their own fumble to go ahead of Louisville, and Louisville comes away with the win. So this is a shaky Louisville team to me. I don't know what I'm getting with them. They could be good. They could be bad. They have a tough Miami team. They're going to Coral Gables to play Miami. So who knows? They could lose that one and still wind up in the ACC championship. Now, if they win, if Louisville wins and beats Florida State, I think they're not going to be in the playoffs, right? There's no – I don't see a way that Louisville would make it to the playoffs if they ended up winning out. They'll be a top 10 team, But are they really a top 10 team? I don't know. If you guys are in the chat, definitely say something if you think Louisville's legit. But one, I think upset alert this week against Miami potentially, and then two, their favorite -20 against Virginia. Virginia's been playing teams close the last few weeks. Still 2-8 though. I mean, you're talking about a Virginia team that played Miami to overtime. They beat North Carolina, and they went to Louisville, and almost came away with victory here. Louisville scores 17 points in the fourth quarter to put that one away. So that was a good Friday night game. The next game I want to look at, obviously, our game of the week, Georgia and Ole Miss. This was not even close. And I told Justin, he switched it. He switched it last minute, but I told Justin, I said, I don't think you want to lock this one. He had Ole Miss plus 10.5. It's going to be a trouncing. Brock Bowers returned like an animal, like a fucking animal. What kind of routine was he on? He was like on some Aaron Rodgers physical therapy routine. Georgia's absolutely insane. Ladd McConkey is a mad lad. He is the mad lad McConkey. And I mean, we don't know who Florida State can keep up with now. Like, because I don't think Florida State's seen a true test in the middle of the season besides Duke, but then they lost their quarterback in the fourth quarter. LSU, definitely. But that's week 0. That's week 1. You never know how a team progresses. Now, I think FSU still might beat LSU. A lot of people don't think the same. I think both teams have progressed, but I think LSU's offense has gotten way better. Way better. They still don't have a defense, mind you. Georgia bottles up Quinshon Judkins. Can't really do much. Lane Kiffin after the here we go. Yeah. After the loss, he was questioned on like what can we do to kind of do better. Here's what Lane Kiffin had to say.
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, we got to recruit at a higher level, and I'm not blaming people. We got to coach better, but you know, at some point, whatever those stats are, we've signed 1 5-star, they've signed 24 or something. Those kind of do show up at some point. So, we'd have to recruit it at a better level.
Those do show up, he says. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's why Florida hired Billy Napier. He said Dan Mullen's not recruiting. We need to recruit. He goes and signs a third class in the country. Now it's a little bit worse. Yeah, he's not wrong. What you can do is hit the transfer portal too. And I'm sure Kiffin will. He does. I like Lane Kiffin. I think that was an excellent answer. Lane Kiffin also had some heat on him going into this game. If I can find it in my show notes. Yeah, right here. So before the game and well timed on the leak right before the Georgia game, somebody leaks this. Shout out to Unnecessary Roughness right now. I'm using their post on X. But a player shows up and Lane Kiffin kicks him off the team, and I guess they have some sort of legal proceeding that they're going after. And they thought this would look good. I don't think it. I've listened to as much college football material as anyone I know, and it didn't look good at all. It backfired.
When you kept getting messages, the head coach wants to talk to you, and you saying, I'm not ready to talk to him.
What was it?
Well, what world do you live in?
I don't see why you gotta be disrespectful, honestly.
Get out of here. Go. You're off the team. You're done. See ya.
Because I'm...
See ya. Go. And guess what? We can kick you off the team. So go read your rights about mental health. We can kick you off the team for not showing up. When the head coach has to meet with you and you don't show up for weeks, okay, we can remove you from the team. It's called being a pussy.
It's called being a pussy. That's what he said. I mean, okay. I think from what I understand, the player took a 2-week mental health break because he was being asked to change positions here, and it can be tough when you're asked to change position and stuff like that. But yeah, just like you're saying, well, if growing up playing football in high school and before that, coaches always told you, like, if you do this game, you're gonna do some things right in life. If you quit this game, you're gonna quit on everything in life. So the learning how to play football and going through all that, it's a metaphor and a way to go about living life. Like that's what I was always coached, at least from some of my coaches. I think I had some great football coaches growing up, as far as like developing your character and stuff like that. Um, just like Will saying, if you don't show up for work for 2 weeks, you're fired, and that's what's going on here. And before NIL was a job, it was you're still a student athlete, but now it's even more of a job. You're actually getting paid in some circumstances. You're getting NIL money, so you're expected to go along with what the team's saying. And I definitely understand mental health and and wanting to take some time, but also ain't that much time, man. It's a short season. It's a short season. You're not coming to practice. It's next guy up. It's next guy up. But yeah, getting back to the actual game, Georgia 52, Ole Miss 17. I saw this coming. I think Georgia is hitting its stride. They're in full swing. A lot of people had the same line this week for Tennessee, and we'll talk about that in a second, about -10. Maybe some people on this show locked in Tennessee +10. I don't know where they're at right now, but they might join us, and they might join us right on time. I'm not locking in Tennessee +10 this week after watching what happened to Ole Miss. All right. Moving on to the next game last week. And we'll stick in the SEC. Speaking of Tennessee, Cody Schrader shreds Tennessee for about 200 something yards. Missouri, they're running on all cylinders too, and they played Georgia very close. They played Georgia very fucking close, up until the end, man, and threw 2 interceptions there at the end to kind of seal it off. I mean, 36-7. Brady Cook throws for 270 yards. Sorry, I had to digest some of that turkey dressing I ate earlier. And Cody Schrader runs for 205 yards. He set the record for something. He set the record for something, and I'm gonna have to figure out what that was. If anyone in the chat tell me what it was, let me know. But Missouri's looking good, man. They had a pick 6 also in this game, so defense firing on all cylinders. Not looking good for my Gators, by the way, and maybe I'll get to that. Maybe I'll just gloss over it like I want to. But yeah, Missouri takes care of business. Tennessee coming to a rough end of the season. I would say, don't they normally play Kentucky at the end of the season? No, they already played Kentucky. Oh, they got Vanderbilt at the end of the season. Oh, screw it. See, this is why I'm just pulling my hair out the Gator schedule. I'm looking at it. We end with FSU every single year. Tennessee gets Vandy. They get Vandy every single year. Good job, Tennessee. And then Tennessee fans sit there and act like they're better than Missouri. I'm sorry, Tennessee hasn't been great. They were really good last year. Still didn't win the SEC East, lost to Georgia. Missouri's been to the SEC East, been the champs of the SEC East more times since they've been in the conference than Tennessee has since Missouri's been in the conference. And I'm looking on Twitter at these Tennessee fans going, we shouldn't lose to Missouri. Eli Drinkwitz has a football program going on at Missouri. They're going to sit there and say, Oh, we shouldn't lose to Missouri. You did. Bad. And you might. Again. I don't know. I don't know. I just I like to think Tennessee fans are decent, but it's like, I don't know. I'm a Gator fan, and we haven't been good for a while. I have we shouldn't be losing to Missouri, I guess, but we're gonna. I'm under no kind of impression that Florida's gonna walk into Columbia, Missouri at night and win that game. Now, I think Florida gets a bad rap, but at the same time, Auburn beat the shit out of Arkansas team that beat Florida a couple weeks ago. So it's just god awful on the defense. I mean, Mississippi State held Arkansas to 3 points. I'm going off on the train right now, but anyway, yeah, Missouri's looking good. Tennessee, y'all got to get used to losing to them because Eli Drinkwitz is that man. Unless he goes to another job, unless if Texas A&M or someone comes calling, but he's already in the SEC, so maybe he wants to keep his, have his cake and eat it. I don't know. Keep the recruiting class together, all that. Alabama, Kentucky. Yeah, no, that would be our AD. That would be Scott Strickland. Pretty sure Scott Strickland's the AD for Florida. He locked in. If you go look at the Florida Gators football schedules through 2031, it's hard every single year. And Florida is getting out of the whole, we don't play non-conference teams out of state. You know why they did that? Because they were in the SEC and they had to play LSU and Florida State every year. LSU, other side of the division, always good. Won 2007 national championship, 2019 national championship, 2000 and no, that was 2007. Yeah, they've been there. I mean, LSU is a program. It's yeah, they locked it in for us. But moving on, Alabama, Kentucky. This spread made no sense to me either. This spread was like, I think 10 point, might have been 14 point. Let me look at it. Y'all can look at it with me. I'll share. I'll share the screen. I'm nice. Yeah, 11 and a half. 11 and a half? Are you kidding me?
It doesn't matter what you think.
Alabama's going to win. Who made this spread?
The hell with school, dopey!
That's so dumb. I locked them in last week. You know why? Because it's free money. That was free. If you were betting on any football game, that was free money right there. Jalen Milroe, absolutely insane quarterback. You can see, I think he stayed in the pocket a lot more this game. And, he's progressing as a passer. I like Ole Miss fucked it up for everyone because now we got to sit there and go, well, what if Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC championship? Do we let them both? Now we have to do this whole game of, could they win 5 times out of 10? Could Georgia win 5 times out of 10? Who gets kicked out? This and that. Because Alabama right now is a top 5 team. Top 4 team, maybe. That's how they're playing. They're better than they were to start the year. There's no hiccups anymore in the quarterback play. Milroe's doing fine. So all the teams that played Alabama this year messed up. Besides Texas, they went and beat them. But now we have to do this whole thing over again where we're like, Alabama, Georgia, SEC championship. Who's going to win? And then what's going to happen? But now Georgia could put a stop to all this, and I would appreciate it. I would appreciate it. I would also appreciate Alabama winning and ending that three-peat. I don't want to see a three-peat. I don't want to see a three-peat ever, especially against a SEC East rival. If Milroe didn't have a rough start in the season, lose to Texas, there would be a huge conversation for Heisman. Yeah, there would. But I mean, there's so many quarterbacks in the Heisman conversation. You got Penix, you got Jordan Travis, I think is in there. Bo Nix is in there. Caleb Williams was. He's not anymore. Jaden Daniels putting up astronomical numbers. Jaden Daniels was leading rusher and passer against the Gators last week. And like I said, to open this podcast, he threw for 372 yards and then ran for 234 yards. Video game numbers. This is absolutely. I mean, I went and played NCAA 14 as Jaden Daniels and like tried to hit that, almost hit it, didn't hit it. So better than video game numbers in real life if you play the Florida defense. That's what happens. All right, we'll move on to the Big Ten. Michigan went and faced their first true contender in Penn State in a lot of people's eyes. Penn State, just like Justin said, it's a shame. You should have saved the wideout for this game. They did a stripe out. Wasn't good enough. Should have done the wideout. Drew Aller didn't really do much. Michigan's defense clamped down on them. And I knew this game was over when I saw Penn State could only get field goals. I was like, you're only getting field goals here. You're not going to do it. Drew Aller throws for 70 yards. Blake Corum ran for 145 yards. I don't know what was going on in this game. There was like towards the end of the game, Michigan ran the ball like 19 straight times. I don't know if J.J. McCarthy had something going on with him, but they just kind of set it on cruise control and said, we're just gonna run the ball. We're just gonna control the game and run out the clock. That brings up like all the coaching carousel talk right here. Is Penn State happy with going 10-2 every year? Because there were some decisions in this game that are not. If you want to get that surprise win, if you want to upset Michigan or Ohio State, you're gonna have to be ballsy and you're gonna have to not play so conservative. And here, I just think maybe decisions could have been made to put you in a better position. But that's Monday chair quarterbacking, honestly. That's fine. But again, you're losing to Penn State or you're losing to Ohio State and Michigan every single year. At some point, you got to go, man, what do we got to do? James Franklin's a good coach. Maybe James Franklin goes to Texas A&M or something. I don't know. Maybe he's like, man, I got to get out of Penn State. We just can't beat Michigan and Ohio State. Yeah, man. I have something in the show notes about a sign stealing scandal here. Okay, yeah. This is what Jim Harbaugh had to say about not being in the not being allowed on campus for this game because of the whole sign stealing thing.
America's team. Got to be America's team. America loves a team that has all the resources and advantages, and still tries to break the rules to find that any little extra advantage. And, there's nothing more American. That's my favorite kind of team. Yeah, cheating, lying, and then playing the victim. It doesn't get any more red, white, and blue than that.
And I love that. I don't know who did the AI on that one, but that was beautiful. Shout out unnecessary roughness. I don't know if you guys did that. It says from Heavens. So yeah, shout out Heavens. Yeah. AI is getting too real. But for real, Jim Harbaugh did have a press conference and he basically said, I need due process. Which is what a lot of guilty people say. Like, even if you're guilty, you should get your court hearing. You should get your day in court. I fully agree with you. I don't know what's going to happen as far as this goes. I hope more teams, I think in the offseason, more teams are going to come out with some evidence against other teams saying they stole our signs, and something's going to have to be done. I don't know. I just thought that was a funny clip I'd share with you guys. All right. Ohio State, Michigan. Yeah. That was not even close.
Who cares?
Ohio State rolled on. So all the top 5, top 6. Well, let's see. Yeah. We'll say top 6 teams roll on. I mean, Washington went back and forth with Utah. They could have covered. Washington could have covered, but they didn't because guy wants to drop a ball at the 2-yard line instead of going into the end zone. So you don't cover. So you lose your parlay. Whatever. USC, Oregon. Oregon had this game. They had a speedster. what's his name? Maybe he's the leading. Bucky Irving again rushes for the over the century mark at 118 yards. I want to see this wide receiver here for Oregon. He was the fastest of the week, apparently topping off at like 23 miles an hour or something like that. No, not it. Is this one it? Let's see.
Empty backfield.
We're gonna mute that for copyright reasons. Bo Nix is making great plays. No, that was not it. Oh well. Tez Johnson, 77-yard play. Yeah, I wanted to see that highlight, but maybe I'll find it here. Tez Johnson, super fast. Oh, here we go. And whoop, and I'm gone. I don't think that was it either. That wasn't the one I was talking about. He had two. Here you go. There he goes. That's not the same guy. I'm retarded. God damn, I'm retarded. All right. Anyway, moving on. After the game or during halftime, Oklahoma fan, I guess, Oklahoma's sister was at the game. Yeah, I don't know if any of you guys saw this, but kind of funny. Boomer Sooner, you traitor. I think she was laughing, so I'm not going to analyze it too much. Sounded like a joke. But, at the same time, Oklahoma, I think you miss them. I think you want them back. I mean, you just lost to Oklahoma State. They got trounced. You lost to Kansas. You thought you had a shot at the playoffs. It's not doing it. My dog's joining me. Down here. Yep. All right, moving on. Texas TCU. I mean, I turned away from this game. One, because I was at the FSU Miami game, but two, yeah, I mean, when you're going back watching the watching highlights and stuff, you're like, oh man, I don't know how Texas Christian TCU came back and tried to win this game. 2 straight weeks Texas has done this. I'll tell you, I think Texas would get the edge if they got the head-to-head over Alabama and they won the Big 12. I think they would get the edge over an Alabama team and get the berth in the playoffs. But you're not going to win the playoffs playing like this. If you play against a Florida State team Florida State kind of lets teams come back in the fourth quarter all the time too, but they put it away. At least. It's just interesting. I don't know, man. And also, Jonathan Brooks tore his ACL. So leading rusher, starting running back for Texas, tears an ACL on what looked like a routine tackle, just kind of wrapped up his legs and tore an ACL. So big loss for Texas there. They get Ewers back, and now they lose their starting running back. So we'll see. Who can replace him, if he can be replaced. Because Jonathan Brooks, hell of a running back, sucks. I like Texas. I hope they do win the Big 12 and they keep it rolling in the run game. I think Quinn Ewers will get back to I think they got to get back into rhythm to where they were in that Alabama game. And we're talking about a team that's got the Big 12 championship coming up. They got to go to Iowa State, which we'll talk about in a second. That's not an easy win. And then they got to end at nope. They got Texas Tech coming to town. Texas Tech just upset Kansas. That was one of my locks, ruined one of my locks. So not an easy finish on the schedule. But anyway, all right, quick wrap. The Iowa under hit last week. So if you're an Iowa under better, that hit again. Texas Tech upsets Kansas. JMU, James Madison, and Liberty still undefeated. And oh man, I gotta bring this up. JMU is not allowed to be in a bowl game right now because it's like their second year in the like Division 1A. So they wrote to the NCAA. What is my dog doing? Trying to eat my bulldog trying to eat a gator again. Damn it. Can't stop. All right. James Madison asked NCAA to waive bowl restrictions. NCAA said, no. Oh, man.
Kentucky is.
No. So, again, this is another example why I don't want the NCAA to be in charge of what happens. They make the wrong decision every fucking time. James Madison's an undefeated team. Definitely better than, I think they would beat the Gators right now if they played the Gators. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But they're undefeated, so is Liberty. And I don't know. I don't know. Like they said here, much has transpired and changed in our situation and in the Division I landscape since our waiver was denied. We're talking about a rule, maybe, I don't know when the rule was made, maybe 1990s or something like that. Outdated, man. Outdated. Let James Madison play. They're already playing if you're playing a Division I schedule and you can win 6 games, then you're bowl eligible. That should be the rule. You're looking at bringing 5 and 7 teams into bowl games. You know, that bowl eligibility used to mean something now, and I think if you let a team get in there like this, it means a little bit more, you know? In a day and age where you have so many players that are not playing in bowl games. I mean, hell, the past 2 bowl games Florida's been to, last year in the Las Vegas Bowl, Florida had so many guys sit out, and then the one before that, I think Oklahoma, or whenever Florida played Oklahoma in that bowl, there was like 22 guys out, most of them starters. It's like they don't even care anymore. It doesn't matter. They just want to sit out for the pros, or it's a business move, this and that, you know. And something should be done about that. I don't know. I don't know what. Maybe an agreement in your NIL deals to say, hey, if we give you this money, we make a bowl game of a certain caliber, you got to play in that bowl game, or else you don't get this bonus money, or you don't get this. I don't know. It could be contracted. I'd like to see that than all these bowl games. But then again, we also have like fucking Duke's Mayo Bowl and shit like that. It's like that means nothing to me. I don't know. Tony and Tiger Bowl, yeah, it sounds cool, but it's like I like these staple bowl, like the Rose Bowl, the Orange Bowl, stuff like that. You know, make bowls cool again. I like the Barstool Bowl. That thing, that's cool. Other than that, not really. I guess I'll share this. Because this was a big hit. Army, Holy Cross. Guy hit him with the Holy Cross on this one.
Bailey.
Blew him up. Goal line stand there. You'll love to see it. All right. I think that's going to bring us to week 12? Question mark? Yeah, no, that's going to bring us to week 12 here in our college football extravaganza, 48 minutes into it. Here we go. All right, Jimbo Fisher now out at Texas A&M after they beat Mississippi State like 51-7. And also Zach Arnet of Mississippi State out, but Jimbo got fired first. It's kind of crazy. So Texas A&M, shout out, who made this graphic? JGP Visuals here. Oh, sorry, I didn't see the chats. I don't know if Franklin leaves. Who do you hire? Venables get it done. Yeah, I mean, Venables definitely made Oklahoma's defense a little better, for sure. You are being a good FSU fan, but Texas A&M. I mean, from what it seems like a lot of the hoopla is coming around Dan Lanning of Oregon, and for good reason too. He's a good coach. He's fiery, celebrates with his players. His players love him. Mike Elko, former DC of Texas A&M, building a great program there at Duke. Good Duke team this year. Jeff Traylor, and I have some clips from these guys. Here. Dan Lanning, pretty emphatic about not wanting to leave Oregon here.
Just your thoughts on that. How do you handle that, and just your commitment to Oregon?
Yeah, we talk about outside noise a lot in our program. I guess the reality here is one, my name and our program would never be in a topic of conversation for another school if we didn't have something here that everybody else wanted. And the reason we have something here that everybody else wants, that's because of what our players, our coaches, the support that exists here at Oregon have created. I think I've been really, really clear here since day one. Everything I want exists right here. I'm not going anywhere. There's zero chance that I would be coaching somewhere else. I've got unfinished business here. There's a lot that I want to accomplish here at Oregon. My number one priority is being elite here at Oregon. And we have the
resources. I mean, he goes on. He's pretty emphatic about it. Straight up says no. I did see this on social media, though. The last two Oregon coaches that have kind of said that. FSU fans might recognize this guy for ruining your football program, and the next guy too as well.
We keep asking, and fans keep wondering because there's never been a definitive yes or no from you. So, will you be the coach here next year? Can you say that?
Why wouldn't I be? I'm a football coach.
I'm a football coach.
You got that like you're trying to get me out of here or something. We're better than that. Why wouldn't I be?
Correctly with the Oregonian. Mario, much of the hours leading up to the game was spent on reports regarding your future. Do you intend to sign a contract extension at Oregon, or will you accept the Miami job if offered?
Yeah, I don't know what you're into. When you say someone's offered, I haven't talked to anybody, so let's not create narratives, okay, as we sit here in this press conference. So Oregon is working on some stuff for me, and that's what I have right now. And that's the extent of that conversation.
That everybody else wants, that's because of what our players, our coaches, the support that exists here at Oregon have created. I think I've been really, really clear here.
Dan Lanning is smiling like he already has the money. He's smiling like Texas A&M already gave it to him. Dude, I don't know. I think it was heartfelt what Lanning was saying, but I do like that take from this guy, Nathan at PNWND on X. Yeah, they all say the same thing. Spot the difference. That was a good video. Yeah. No, I like that one a lot. I mean, obviously, we know where Willie Taggart went. We know where Mario Cristobal went. Does Dan Lanning make the move? Maybe not. Jeff Traylor out of UTSA kind of said the same thing. Less words. I have the clip here, but I won't play it. Other people are like Urban Meyer trying to make a deal with the devil. Yeah, the Texas A&M's like, yeah, we'll do it. We want Urban Meyer. I mean, they got the money. They weren't even scared to pay Jimbo the $75 million buyout. But another name, Chip Kelly. Reportedly, UCLA is not too happy with Chip Kelly. I saw this coming out of On3. Saw this coming out of several other outlets here. This one particular, CFB Daily Talk Daily. That's kind of huge. I mean, UCLA did not. This was in the hiring cycle where Florida hired Dan Mullen, and a lot of Florida fans were kind of upset that Florida went with Dan Mullen over Chip Kelly, and over I want to say UCF's coach Scott Frost. At the time, Scott Frost had an undefeated UCF team, and everyone was like, "Let's do that." Didn't do too well in Nebraska, did he? Chip Kelly. Oh, okay. I mean, I like Dan Mullen a lot. I liked him a lot as Florida head coach. Wish he could have recruited a little bit better, but I mean, he took us to the SEC championship in 2020. We had a great offense. Maybe get a new defensive coordinator. I don't know. But Chip Kelly to Texas A&M. Talking about bring over some of your good quarterbacks, and you got all the talent that Texas A&M already has, all the money and resources. That's a crazy thought. That's a candidate for sure. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. Boise State coach is out. I don't even know his name. To be honest, not gonna even.
Who cares?
He's out. Boise State's kind of a good job, but now with the conference realignment, I'm like, is not as much of a good job as it was. Was going to talk Heisman candidates. I think we kind of already talked over that a little bit, and I want to get Justin and Davis's take on that, so we'll skip over, and actually get some games here. First off, I'm going to go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off, and we're going to talk about the Florida Gators. I skipped over that. Yeah, Mississippi State coach is out too. I didn't skip over. I mentioned that, but I wanted to ask this: Do you think the Texas A&M job? I mean, obviously the Texas A&M job's better for pay and stuff like that, but you're on the same side of the SEC. Does Mississippi State go out and get, I don't know, a coach of the same caliber? And like Dan Mullen had Mississippi State ranked number 1 or 2 for a couple weeks when he was there with Dak Prescott. I mean, you can do it. You're talking about a fan base that loves football. They're okay if you go 6-7 a season. They're okay if you don't win the West. It's not a terrible fan base. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I would rather, if I had to pick, I'd rather go to Texas A&M because I feel like Texas would be a great fit. But also, as far as like the town wise, you got College Station, Starkville, kind of. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with my question of, do you think Mississippi State is a better job than A&M? I feel like A&M's a better job, but like for sure. But also at the same time, it's like, I don't know, Mississippi State had Mike Leach, and then he died. And you're going to give Zach Arnett 1 year to kind of figure out what he's doing? I don't know, man. I don't know if I like the fire here. A year? Lane Kiffin even said something about it. He said, hey, that if we're only giving guys a year, what are we doing? Like, you don't even have time to build up a program or get anything going. And Mike Leach runs the air raid like no one's bit. Like, he ran the air raid like it was his baby. So you're going to run a different system most likely. Yeah, money-wise, definitely Texas A&M. But you get the cowbells. You get the cowbells at Mississippi State. Anyway, Florida, unfortunately, going to Missouri here. And, man, I'm not going to lie. I don't even know if I want to watch this game. Missouri's favorite, 11.5. I think they're going to cover. I think they're going to cover pretty good. Maybe 14 points. The over-under, 58. Yeah. Yeah, it's sad, man. I don't know. Maybe it goes over. I'm thinking under. I think Missouri's got a defense. I mean, they held Tennessee. I don't know. My lack of confidence in Florida isn't with the offense. I think Graham Mertz is putting up numbers. He's doing great. Trevor Etienne's doing good. We got Eugene Wilson, freshman wide receiver. Shifty, awesome. Maybe it's a close game. I mean, at first, and then some dumb shit's going to happen in the fourth quarter. Florida's going to run 2 guys out there with the same number on, or they're going to have some sort of mix-up on special teams. Yeah, the secondary is atrocious. I mean, you got Jaden Hill. He's playing really good in the secondary, but Kimber, I mean, I don't want to call these guys that, but like all season I've been looking, and it's just like it's the same guys. It's the same guys whiffing on tackles. 3-8. 3-8, dude. 3-8. Where are we at? Marshall and Kimber. Just kill me. Yeah. Nope. I got Missouri winning this one. No qualms about it, man. Missouri's kicking on all cylinders. They gave it to Tennessee. pretty hard last week. I think similar. Now, I think this Florida team has fight in it, so they're not going to just give up. I think they fought hard against LSU, and yeah, I mean, I think it was what 38-35 in the fourth quarter against LSU, and then they kind of ran away with it. So it is what it is. FSU got a really tough North Alabama team coming to town.
Florida State Seminole Vesicles.
And this is what I'm talking about. It's like why set your season up for failure? So instead of putting someone on your team or putting someone on your schedule where you're like, oh, if we're struggling for a 6 bowl eligible win, we can go get it against North Alabama or something like that. Yeah. Missouri, then Florida State. That's what Florida's in and went. So Florida State's got North Alabama coming to town. Miami coming off that tough loss at Florida State. They got a Louisville team who's got a berth in the ACC championship. They're going to be playing FSU. It's 11 a.m. at Miami. And I think we might have to do a lock show on Thursday or something to get Davis and Justin's lock here. But it looks like, what is up with the FBI here? Looks like a lot of people are liking Miami. It's a pick 'em. Louisville's favorite -1. Van Dyke in the freshman last week broke his arm at Florida State in the fourth quarter. Unfortunate for the guy. Miami's O-line is going to be terrorized by Louisville. Louisville likes to bring a lot of pressure. Van Dyke not good under pressure. Yeah, Will's kind of thinking the same thing I am. I think Tyler Van Dyke does throw some picks here. He gets sacked, and I think Louisville does win, and that sets up a decent ACC championship game. I'm staying away from it, though, because I could see the upset. I think Louisville is on the upset alert there for a little bit. I think it's a close game, too. I think Miami plays them tough, but I think Louisville comes out with the win by a field goal. I like the field goal. That's a good one. I'll take them by a field goal. Next game we're looking at here, Utah, Arizona. Ooh, this one's fun. This one is fun. An Arizona team that no one really, like, everyone had their eyes on Utah, USC, Oregon, Washington, and Arizona team that's made a name for itself. They're 7-3. Utah 7-3. They got them at home at 1:30 p.m. I'd rather it be a night game. This game is also a pick 'em at -1. I like the over-under's right there too. I think I like Arizona in this one. I would go with the wild hair and pick the Wildcats here. Have them I mean, Utah did good last week. No, wait. The week before. They absolutely trounced Arizona State the week before. Last week, I mean, tight game against a good Washington team at Washington. So Utah's no slouch. I think this is going to be a good game to watch. I'm going to pick Arizona and just ride with it. Maybe make it our shot game of the week. That'd be fun. Fun shot game. All right. Georgia at Tennessee. And this one, I was talking about it earlier. I don't care if it's at Neyland Stadium. I don't care if Tennessee's bringing their A game. Georgia would have to play its F game to not cover the spread. I think Georgia covers it. This is definitely going to be one of my locks, so I'm going to go ahead and lock it in. We're locked down. The over-under, I think under, and then Georgia by more than 10. I'm saying Georgia by at least 2 touchdowns in this game. Brock Bowers back, I don't know. Ladd McConkey's back. They're at 1 million ants yet again. Georgia's going to kick some volunteer ass. Wake at Notre Dame. I'm going to skip that one. Illinois at Iowa. The over-under is 33 here. So if you've been betting Iowa unders, it's a little bit higher than it has been the last few weeks. Let me make sure that's the right number. But I think you got a week here where Illinois could kind of play upset and spoiler, but at the same time, Iowa, 30.5. So I was wrong. Over under 30.5. I don't know. I'll be a little nervous because the under's been hitting so much with Iowa. So I'd say, hey, let's just go against like law of averages kind of deal. Just go against that and bet the over. But then again, if if Iowa goes under again, you're gonna be like, oh, Iowa unders. So I don't know. I always like to keep an eye on them. Minnesota at Ohio State. Oh, Ohio State, man. They're running on all cylinders right now as well. I got them winning. I want to say they cover too. I'm trying to find this actually. Can't find a damn game. Someone tell me the damn spread in the Ohio State game. I locked it. Whatever it is, I'm locking it in. I think it was like 24, something like that. Where the fuck is the Ohio State game here? Here we go. Number 1 Ohio State. Yeah, sure, maybe. Here we go, folks. Minnesota 27.5. Yeah, I'll keep my lock. I'll keep my lock here. I think it in a week that for me it was hard to find locks. I think I'll keep it for now unless I want to change it later. I like it. They haven't been rowing the boat too much there in Minnesota. Ohio State's gonna roll up until that Georgia or Michigan game, and then I don't know. I've yet to decide who's gonna win the Michigan game. Michigan Ohio State game. I don't know. That's it. Regardless who wins, I think you can't let both of them in like you did last year. You can't let both of, with as many good one-loss teams as there are out there. Whoever wins that game wins the spot. Will says he's got Ohio State winning. I'm more inclined to agree with you this year. Kyle McCord played good last game. If he can play good and get the ball to Marvin Harrison, yeah, all day. Because Ohio State's defense can definitely stop Michigan. I think they can definitely stop them. So I'm more inclined to agree with you. But then again, it's at Michigan. What if it's snowing? What if the pageantry is just running all sorts of wild in there? North Carolina, Clemson. I don't have a lock on that game. But how about North Carolina just falling so far from the good graces of the ACC? We were all talking North Carolina, Florida State a couple of weeks ago for the ACC championship. No. Wrong. I think Clemson gets the win here. Clemson's been playing pretty good ball the last couple of weeks. It's at Clemson. Dabo's got a lot of heat on him as far as his fans. He kind of shook it off like water on a duck, though. Oregon at Arizona State. This one's interesting because Arizona State was kind of putting up some numbers last week, and I was kind of impressed by him. But I think this is a game where Oregon is trying to get Bo Nix that Heisman. Dan Lanning's trying to get Bo Nix a Heisman. You go to Tempe, and you cover the spread. You hit the over. I think Bo Nix is projected further in that Heisman conversation. So I am gonna lock in Oregon minus the 23.5 points because I don't think they're gonna take the foot off the pedal if they end up winning this game, or if they end up getting in front of this game. I think they're gonna keep going. So there's 3 locks for you. I got 2 more to give out. 2 more locks of the week. Oklahoma State at Houston. After the UCF loss Oklahoma State suffered this past week, going to Houston, this is a down game. Houston's +7, and that's not good for Oklahoma State. Let me tell you, I think Ollie Gordon comes out and has a good game. I think Oklahoma State gets back to winning, but this is a feisty Houston team. I mean, they beat West Virginia in a Hail Mary, but they're underdogs. Rich Rod's going to be like, hey, you're going to go play their butt off. I like the over. The over under is 59.5. I'll take both teams maybe scoring third. I don't know here. I'm not wasting a lock on this game, but just interesting with how Oklahoma State's been so sporadic in playing. All right. Texas at Iowa State. This one's big. I got a lock. Now, Iowa State's been playing good ball. Texas has been letting teams come back the last 2 weeks, and they got to stop that if they're going into the playoffs, right? Texas -7.5. I saw it at -8 at one spot. Give me Iowa State to cover the give them plus. I'll take them with the points plus 7.5. I'm gonna lock that one in just because I'm feeling it. I mean, this is a tough place to play. It's at night in Ames, Iowa. Ever since that fan yelled at Matt Campbell, ever since he yelled that whoever that was that yelled at Matt Campbell said, "You better get your shit together or you're gonna get fired," and he blew up and got all mad. Who was that against? It was like the first game of the season. Yeah, I think it was against Ohio. Yeah, it was against Ohio. After they lost to Iowa, 20-13, which rivalry, very upset. Then they lost to a decent MAC Ohio team. Some fan told Matt Campbell, "You better get your shit together," and they did. Only losing to Oklahoma and Kansas in a close one. So, for the most part, they beat Baylor, Cincinnati, TCU, BYU handily. I don't know. I might not like that lock, but it's gonna be fun watching that game with that lock. All right. We're coming up on that time of the season where some teams are battling for bowl eligibility. So here's some games where both teams are battling for bowl eligibility. Nebraska at Wisconsin, both teams needing it. Wisconsin just dropped a despicable game last week to who'd they lose to? I think they only scored like 3 points. It was ridiculous. Yeah, let's go to Wisconsin. Let's see. No, they scored 10. So 24-10. They lost 24-10 to Northwestern. Matt Rule in Nebraska, I mean, doing way better than some people thought they would do. They just lost to Maryland. So it's kind of a poop bowl, but I don't know. I think but Nebraska might get the win here. UCF at Texas Tech, both looking for bowl eligibility, both 5-5. UCF coming off that good win against Oklahoma State, but going to Texas Tech. Texas Tech's a tough team, and they just upset Kansas. That's a fun game to watch. I'll go Florida. I'll root for the Florida team. I'll go UCF, but I'm like thinking Texas Tech might get the win. BYU, South Carolina, also looking for bowl eligibility in their games. Marshall at South Alabama. Shout out Justin. You're not here right now, but I think South Alabama gets the win personally. Sorry. I will mention Marshall did win their 75 game, so their game last week where they honored the 75 players who died in the horrific plane crash in like the 1970s. I'm not doing it justice. Obviously, Justin would care a lot more if he was on the show. And I got one more lock to give out. I mean, it's gonna be Alabama, whoever they're playing this week. That would be the lock of the week for me. I don't know. We might ride Coastal over Army. We'll see. I'll hand it out later. But that's going to bring us to the game of the week, and I don't think it should be any surprise what the game of the week is. A lot of people were saying Tennessee, Georgia. It's like, no, did you not see how that went last week with Ole Miss and Georgia? It's going to be I think it's going to be a blowout. Oh, my other locks, LSU. They got Georgia State coming to town. After watching Jaden Daniels, he's going to try and win the Heisman as well. LSU is minus 31.5 points. Favorite over Georgia State. Georgia State's 6-4. Yeah, no. Final log of the week. Give me LSU. Cover that minus 31. Over under might look good as well. It's at 71. It's at a lot of points. I mean, if Georgia State holds LSU to under 52 points and Florida can't hold, God, I might have an aneurysm. Honestly. Ooh, Kansas State, Kansas. Didn't cover that one. That's going to be a good game. I think Kansas State probably gets the win there with how Kansas has been playing. And let's see. Our game of the week is Oregon State hosting the number 5 ranked Washington Huskies. And with how Washington's been playing, they've been playing, a little here and there. Oregon State and DJ Uiagalelei have been balling. They have been balling. Nothing short of impressive coming out of Corvallis, Oregon. And the Beavs, man. The Beavs are actually favorite to win right now. I wouldn't be surprised to see some line movement, but they're favorite to win at the moment. -2. And I think I'm feeling it. I'm not for sure here. I could see. I mean, Washington's got the Pac-12 championship, the final Pac-12 championship ahead of them. That's what they're thinking. They got all their sights set on that. You got to think, Oregon State goes here and beats Washington and then beats Oregon in the Civil War in rivalry week. We're talking about a top 10 Oregon team. I mean, they beat Washington. They're already in the top 10, but they beat both teams. We're talking about a spoiler, a Beaver spoiler, because I don't think they'd get into the playoffs. I don't think there's any way they would with 2 losses there. But, man, would that be a good cherry on top for the Pac-12. It's like, man, y'all tried real hard, but you couldn't get in, could you? I think Oregon State gets the win here. And maybe they get the win next week against Oregon. Where's that game at? I think that's at Oregon. Yeah, it's at Oregon. So that's going to be a little tougher. But this week, Washington coming to town with how Washington's been playing. I want to say Oregon gets the win. And, yeah, that's going to do it for us here. College Football Extravaganza. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. If you're not, like and subscribe to the new College Football Extravaganza channel, which is on YouTube. So at CFB Extravaganza. Go ahead and do that for us. Thanks for joining. And tune in next week. If you like listening on podcasts, we're on all the podcasters too. So there you go. Adios, muchachos.
These people don't give a shit.
We're giving them the business.